started saying there were four things. And you said number one is to discern the real from the unreal. And you didn't go any further.
Yes. So first of all, there are we talked about the four qualifications of an aspirant, and these qualifications are just, I would say, it's a part of the mode of the mind, which the first one is discrimination from the real, discriminating the real from the unreal. The second one, it's they point to aversion of the enjoyment of the fruits of one's action now and later, which if we bring it to in simple words is taking action without any attachment to future outcome. Because if in the beginning, when there is thoughts that the mind doesn't like or doesn't want or react, it examines the thoughts in order to get rid of the thoughts, or it examines the thoughts to get rid of the bodily sensation. So it is attached to future outcome, and it's a trap. And it also inquires into the self because it wants to gain the self like it is an object. So that's a trap too. And that's why they point. So it's not that you won't see that there is attachment to future outcome. You would just be aware of it, and you would recognize that that's a trap. By being aware of it, it just falls away, and action is being taken care without any specific reason. The third one is a clear mind, clear sattvic mind, which has different attributes like compassion, dispassion, forgiveness, straightforwardness, the ability to shift the attention, calmness. Yet it's a different type of calmness that we are familiar with. It's resting of the mind on the self and not being attached to sense objects. This is a form of calmness. Means it's not that I'm a calm person. It means the attention on that which is changeless, which is aware right now, listening to these words in the background. And the fourth one is yearning for liberation, an intense desire to be liberated. So if I'll repeat, the first one is discrimination between the real and the unreal. The second is taking action and not being attached to future outcome, now or later. Third is a clear mind. And the fourth one is the yearning for liberation. And obviously the yearning for liberation is the cause of hearing, and hearing is the cause of discrimination, and discrimination is the cause of detachment. And when the mind is not attached to thought, then it's more clear. And when it's clear, this yearning gets stronger, so the mind can rest within you as awareness, or
so
within awareness.
That's the back page of this book, non-dual.
Yes?
That's what it's saying. Okay. Got it.
So just for a moment, let's see if we can just bring the attention in to see what is immediately here.
Can you hear us? I think you're...
Yes, I can hear you well. Can you hear? Can you hear?
Yes.
So Let's for a moment be still, just the way we are. And just like the eyes look out, look inside and just recognize what is immediately experienced. What is omnipresent that is not a thought. Which is obviously you. And a thought appears and disappears within you. A sense felt of presence. When thought or thoughts appear, it appears in this field of awareness, which is not different than yourself, your true self. Either looks through the thoughts, so it's the space looking into itself, just for an instant. Put the attention on a sense-felt experience of a peace, unshakable peace, a presence that is not a thought, yet it is easily recognized because it is you. So can you share what you recognize? And today,
exactly like you described it, which was perfect in a sense. It was, of course, in the beginning there was silence. It was just silence. And then what happened was really interesting. Was there were thoughts, They weren't very clear thoughts, but they were thoughts. But they were like floaters in the eyes. They just floated by, and I never lost the silence at
Yes,
all.
that's good. So let's, as we speak today and dialogue, see, it's like shift the attention, because right now there's an immediate presence that maybe in the beginning it appears to be in the background. So hold on to the sense felt experience. So that way it's almost a baby learns how to walk. It's like the mind learns to put the attention to where it arises from. And then this awareness just maybe on a subtle or just very soft shine through, yet you have a sense felt experience of something that is peaceful, quiet, yet it is omnipresent right now. And then today we'll just pay attention. It's when the mind, its attention completely goes out, and I sometimes call it leaning out, and then it's kind of bringing it back. It's to notice this motion is that the attention went from the sense felt experience totally into the thought, and then we draw back into the sense felt experience. And then one would recognize that listening, talking, is not a hindrance to the sense felt experience of who you are. So we're just exploring that, yes? It's not a... If you would have to, either one of you, describe that which is undescribable, just with words that point, what would be the words that point to the experience, to the sense felt experience right now?
The center of a bullseye.
The what? I couldn't hear.
The center of a bullseye.
The center of a...
You know, like shooting arrows at a bullseye, at a target?
Okay,
The center of the target.
okay. And what is the sense felt experience in the center?
One-pointedness.
Okay.
I
And
can't seem to get away from the one-pointedness of it all. And what I would call leaning, as you described it very much, it would be coming back from the one-pointedness and coming out.
okay. And then the one-pointedness is the attention. Yet all around it, isn't it, there is a space. It's like feel the space all around the head, the room even, inside.
Inside and outside the head.
That's right. That's right. Because it has no real boundaries.
I think the best thing I could do to describe the sense felt experience is black hole. It's like you're being pulled into this huge, big space. Which is inside and outside.
Yes. Which these are just ideas that we point as inside and outside, because if I really explore what is the sense felt experience, if there is no thought, there is no division really in the experience, isn't it?
And another thing that happens is that you can discriminate between the eyes looking out and the eyes looking in. That's two different happenings.
Yes, yes, yes.
Sometimes at the same time, which is fantastic.
Yeah. There is a subtle movement actually of attention. If we look closely, the attention goes out and the attention withdraw in, and it just can happen quickly. To what the eyes see, and then what is the inner seeing. So it's almost to see the movement like this, going out and going in, out, in, and even this movement out and in is inside this field of awareness, which is you. So the sense felt experience, is it, how does it feel like? Does it feel quiet, peaceful, awake? Aware?
Can't seem to call it anything. It's just there.
Yes. Yesterday I asked the question, the wise had the experience of who they are, and then with the mind they pointed to that which cannot be named and experience. And then I asked the question, how would you describe the experience of water?
Floating. Floating.
What is that?
Floating.
Floating? Is that the experience you have with water? You go back and
In water.
okay. And when it's not in water, what is the experience of water?
Cooling.
Cooling. Okay. What else?
Moving. Moving.
Moving. Okay.
We're going back in experiences, I could say drowning.
Drowning. So if I would be never touched water, would it enables me when I experience water to know that this is water?
No.
So go back to see how would you describe for me, which I've never touched water. What is the experience of water that when I touch it, although the description is not the experience, it's the closest to the experience itself. This is what the words is knowledge supposed to do.
It moves away from you and it surrounds you.
Okay, and what happens if it's inside a glass?
It depends if the glass is touching your lips or it's touching your fingers.
Or if the glass is still or moving. If it's moving, it'll sort of smush.
Okay.
Actually, water has no feeling.
Okay.
It actually has no feeling. It's like the air itself. It has no feeling unless there's movement or there's a change in temperature.
Still, there is an attribute to the water.
The attribute of water, it goes where it wants to go.
Okay. So, if you never encountered water, would you understand from the pointers what is the experience of water? Let's say I'll tell you we'll change the roles. You never experienced water, and I'll tell you that the experience of water, that it is wet.
But wet doesn't mean anything.
Yet once you touch the water, do you get wet or not?
It clings to you.
It's like very simple. If I take...
It runs off you. You don't get wet.
So...
It runs off you. That's an illusion that it gets. You get wet.
Yes, so we can... So it's to check and see if I never experience water, and I'll just even be with clothes, and then suddenly somebody will open the shower above me. The experience is that I'll have, it might be cold, it might be hot, which can be also with the temperature of fire. Yeah, it can be hot if I get close to it. Yet one thing that I would experience from the water, that all my clothes and my hair got wet and the skin got wet.
But if I was bald, I wouldn't know anything. I would have felt something, but I wouldn't have known what I felt. And if it was body temperature, it would have been even more disguised to what I would feel in the sense. I can make. When we used to live in Hawaii, we used to go to bed naked and lay in there, and we would allow the air to cover us like a blanket. So I would assume that water would do the same thing. It depends how it's applied to yourself, how it's applied on yourself, in a sense. So, that's why I say it could be cooling, it could be heating, it has motion.
Right.
To it. It has motion.
The attribute of water is flowing.
It's moving.
Yes. So we can see that when we describe that which is indescribable, is to see if the mind can point to the closest, that when one experiences who they are, they would have the recognition, the knowing. And later on, the mind, when it comes out, it has clarity, that's all. It is clear. It can never be described, yet it can be just pointed at.
But are we labeling it?
in a way, yes, we label the experience which cannot be labeled. It's like the label is in the field of awareness. Yeah, when I say, let's explore the experience for a moment. Just put all the attention within. See if there is a thought right now. And you watch until a thought appears. And then just being aware of that which is aware, which is you. And then within this knowing, awareness, think mentally what is the experience and just say it internally. Maybe the experience is silence, and you would see the thought within floating with this within the experience. The thought are just
now. In fact, there is not one thought. There's about 1 trillion billion of them floating in this bubble, if you want to say, huge, unmembrane bubble. There's no membrane, but that's what the experience is. It just, there's got to be 1 trillion billion thoughts.
Except there is only one thought at a time. So it's a thought.
But I haven't picked, that thought hasn't come that hasn't come up in front of the screen, because I haven't had a thought. In fact, I haven't had a thought yet I'm talking to you.
Yeah. So even the description that there are billion of thought, billion is an idea. So the most essential is just to recognize that it's a thought after thought after thought. If we look, Ramana said, its mind is made of thoughts, and thought is the nature of the mind. So its content or is ideas, and then it forms habits. So it's thought after thought, like drop after drop after drop forms a river. Just an analogy that is not quite, because a drop is not like an image of a thought.
I look at it as in the casino in Las Vegas, as a roulette table. The wheel goes round and round, and the ball spins and spins until it falls in a slot. I have no thought. And since everything is in awareness, this many thoughts, or what the mind is within my awareness.
Yes. And how does it feel?
Well, in the body itself is expressing itself, and I'm not so sure if it has anything to do with where I am at this moment, but the body feels warm.
Yeah. The warmth.
Especially the belly.
the warmth is an energy, prana.
Mhm. It's moving.
Yes.
In fact, it's encompassing my whole body. But yet, it's not what I really feel.
Yes. This is a labeling of a sensation.
Mhm.
So it's going again, what is the experience without a label? Not of something. What is?
I can dance around it. It's probably the best feeling I've ever had.
Yes.
So that's a label.
Yes. Within the experience.
Mhm.
The label doesn't change the sense felt experience.
For this individual, I think I'm holding that space because because of this connection with you.
As long as there is the recognition and the knowing that space to be you, no matter what's the reason, apparently, is that you can have the knowing that it is you because you experience you. And I'm just a thought within the field of you. And it's basically the same awareness. The awareness that I am is the awareness that you are. It's just awareness recognizes itself, knows itself. Because awareness permeates everywhere, then it permeates different physical forms, so each form, which apparently appears to be an individual, speaks the awareness that permeates it, yet it's the same awareness.
It's probably the longest I've been aware of awareness at one time.
That's good.
And I can see words forming.
Yes.
That's interesting.
Thoughts.
Thoughts actually forming. And disappearing.
Yes.
Before it completes itself.
It's a bit like the thoughts are knocking on the door to come in, but there's no one there to open them.
So allow the thoughts, like almost welcome it, and watch